You're listening to the Blue 82 Podcast, hosted by Craig and Nicholas. Please like and subscribe so we know that you like what we're doing. And now, let's talk football. Blue 82!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue 82 Podcast. I am your host, Craig, with my co-host, Nicholas. And this is episode 18. We're going to be doing the Week 14 recap. Talking about news, highlights, the usual. Pretty much same game plan as always. Before we get into anything, just want to say we appreciate y'all. We love y'all supporting the videos. Let's keep this shit fucking rolling. We had a pretty good week of football, Nick.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll preface this a bit here before we get into it too much, The NFL had a good week of football. Nick did not have a good week of football. We'll say that. Tough loss. We'll break it down a bit when we get there. But definitely Nick is hurting at the moment, so my condolences to you, sir. I am actually glad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm glad that my team sucks right now, so I don't have to deal with this whole.
Just, numb.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with this whole fucking upset thing, because trust me, I know the pain. The Texans have had some fucking times here and there where it's been wow, how did we lose that game, or why are we sucking right now? I get it completely. That's why I've kind of shifted into becoming a fan of players. And it might seem like I'm quote-unquote bandwagoning, but, whatever. But I like certain players for certain reasons, and that's who I follow around sometimes. With that being said, though, we've been pretty consistent. We're on, episode 18 now? End of the year's coming up. I know me and Nick haven't talked a whole lot about the plan for, the off-season and things like that, and I know we're still far away. But I do feel like that we want to keep this thing going because me and Nick like doing this, or at least I think you like doing this. I like doing it, but I'm sure at some point we'll probably in the off season, once Super Bowl wraps up and all that, we'll probably do a special episode where we revisit our winners, losers, see how those things panned out, talk about some awards, some MVPs, things like that, and I'm sure we'll probably even maybe do some mock drafts or something. Maybe we'll go through each week and pick a team and do a couple round mock draft with them or something and see how that goes. We got a lot of options, but if there's anything that y'all want us to break out into the off season, just comment. Let us know any ideas you got. You know what I mean? Because we're definitely looking to keep this thing going. At least in my opinion, I want to. Yeah, Nick, you got anything before we hop into it?
Yeah. Just shout out to all the fans that support us by watching or liking the videos. Much appreciated. Yeah, like you said too about the off-season stuff. Got a couple ideas that we could do. And yeah, I'm ready to break down the games from last week.
Nice.
Or this week, I guess.
So we'll go through a few injury updates and news. Pretty big injury that happened was, I don't know if you saw this one, Nick, but Deebo Samuel, did you see him go down? That was
Yeah, I did. I think it was his knee, wasn't it?
They're saying it was his knee originally, but now they're saying that it was an ankle. I think they're saying it's a high ankle sprain, so I'm sure 4 to 6 weeks. It sounds like he might make it back by playoffs, if they make it, which, it's looking like they make it. So kind of a loss for them. We talked about that, right? While the game was going on, Nick was like, yeah, the 49ers are winning, but at what cost? Last week they lost Jimmy G. This week they lose Debo. I know they got, and I mentioned to him, I was like, dude, they got a lot of weapons, so, they'll be fine, but, you lose any more of those weapons, you're starting to get to the point to where not really what you want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, just, I know Debo is... he's versatile. They like using him in the run game. But I feel like you got somebody like CMC now that can be your versatile guy in the run game. why are we not just using Debo as a receiver at this point? You know what I mean? You put him in between the tackles with all those guys where, like, you're just asking for trouble. You know what I mean? I don't know. I get that's how they run their offense and things like that, but I don't know. Another one we got is Jeff Wilson.
Real quick, I'll just add on to Jerry Rice tweeted out that I don't know if you saw it, but he was upset about all the injuries to the like 49er like main players. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw that.
No, I didn't.
But basically, he just said like, basically said like stop running like your star players up the middle, and then he was like, you
Yeah.
got Trey Lance hurt, then you got Jimmy G hurt, and now you got Deebo
Debo.
Samuel hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's I get it. Like at the end of the day, injury's gonna happen, but at the same time, it's like, why are you using Deebo the way you are? Like,
I just feel like
you know what I mean?
if you're trading for CMC,
Yeah, like let CMC run the ball and let
Yeah.
Deebo catch the ball. Like that's what you got them for.
Because CMC, in my opinion, is trained his whole life to run through the tackles.
Yeah.
So he knows how to either dive down or avoid tackles and not necessarily put his body in that harm because he's used to running through the tackles. Like, you put somebody like Debo that last year started doing it, and I'm sure he's done it in his college career or something before, but, like, just not prepared for it. Like, you're just asking for trouble. I agree completely. Another one, it looks like Trey Hendrickson jammed or broke his right wrist for the Bengals. He ended up playing through the game with it, but I think they're saying he might miss a couple weeks for that. Another one, Cowboys right tackle Terrence Steele tore his ACL, so he's likely out for the season. Right tackle Lane Johnson for the Eagles went down Sunday with an abdominal injury, did not suffer a major injury and is considered day-to-day, so that's good for the Eagles. Carson Wentz was activated from injured reserve. He's going to serve as the backup to Taylor Heineke. We saw that coming. Another thing, they're saying there's no quarterback change for the Saints coming out of the bye. We didn't really expect one, but couple Jets players are dealing with some injuries. Mike White with his ribs, Quinnen Williams.
My man got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, he did. Quinnen Williams with his calf. They're both day-to-day, so that seems decent for that. Let's see. Cornerback for the Bucs, Jamil Dean suffered a big toe injury on Sunday and is considered week to week. Let's see. Oh, 49ers. Oh, I thought this was Steelers 49ers Deontay Johnson, but it's 49ers defensive back Deontay Johnson suffered a season-ending torn ACL. I saw that when I woke up and I was like, wait, is that the Steelers guy? But I'm just now rereading it and it's not the Steelers guy. Panthers wide receiver DJ Moore is considered day-to-day with a knee sprain. Another piece of news, Cowboys signed T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver. There's that. Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel says Tyreek Hill's ankle injury seems more in bumps and bruises that he can work through. Sounds like he'll be good for Saturday versus the Bills. And left tackle Teron Armstead had a successful game experience without a setback. So that's good for the Dolphins. Another one, running back for the Seattle Seahawks, Kenneth Walker, who's dealing with an ankle injury, who set out last week. They're saying is being a limited participant at practice today, so that's good because they play on Thursday, so they're going to need him back if they, or that's a good sign for the fact that they're playing Thursday, so potential for him to come back. Let's see. Brock Purdy's dealing with an oblique rib injury that's day-to-day. So, that's, I mean, you're already down 2 quarterbacks. You'd hate to be down another one. Another big piece of news, which is kind of breaking news. Quarterback Kyler Murray went down with what appears to be a non-contact injury and is now being looked at by the trainers. Not good. So that looks like it happened at the start of the game. Which the Monday night game is currently going on right now. So Colt McCoy is in. So that being said, Kyler Murray going down with a non-contact injury, the cart came out for him. I mean, that leads you to believe, Nick, It's an ACL, right?
Probably some of the knee,
Yeah.
Achilles, something like that.
You would think.
Usually when the non-contact is usually like a tendon or
Mm-hmm.
muscles or something like that. Not good.
Not good at all. That's all I got for news and injuries. You got any more that I missed?
No, I don't think so. I think you did it. Pretty much
Alright.
all of them.
Yeah. I just pretty much go through and look at all the tweets from like Adam Schefter and all that, just because it's all there in one place.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, with that being said, I mean that's gonna wrap up news and injuries, so we can go ahead and get into the Week 14 recap. We'll go ahead and start with the Monday night game that I think we talked about a little bit last week while we were recording. I think the game was going on. Monday night, Week 13 was Saints at the Bucks. This game was pretty much Saints 16-3 for like the whole time, and then the last second Brady scored 2 touchdowns to come back and win.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad game.
Yeah, the
Like,
Bucks just
literally-
continue to look terrible on offense. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Yeah, didn't they win? Let me check real quick. I don't know if it was this past week or the week before.
Alright, sorry about that. The washing machine started like freaking
No,
out,
you're
fucking
good.
up.
Where was it at? I guess it was this past week, right? Wasn't it?
What?
Well, there was like 2 weeks, it seems like, that the Bucks literally at the last second went on a game-winning drive that shouldn't even have happened. I think it was against the Rams a few weeks back, which I think they should have lost that game against the Rams, and then they should have lost this game against the Saints. They literally did something at the last second that shouldn't even have been able to happen. Like, if they lose those 2 games, they're sitting at fucking 4-9 right now. You know what I mean? This division's just horrendous, man. It's so ugly to look at. What's gonna happen is like my thing is I'm out on the Bucks, right? At this point, their offense is so bad. But
It was week 9.
Week 9, okay, that's what it was. So we've been saying this whole time, this division sucks. But what's gonna happen, Nick, is the Buccaneers are gonna have a negative record and make the playoffs.
And make the playoffs?
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Probably.
They're just not looking.
It's one of those bad divisions.
Yeah. I'd almost rather see a team like the fucking Panthers make it in that division, or the Falcons. Like,
yeah, like a team that
at least show some excitement
potentially
here
could
and
do
there.
something. Yeah.
But I mean, that was just a horrendous game. Something needs to give, Nick. I know they make a lot of these schedules at the beginning of the year, but it seems like this year the primetime games have been so bad. Like, we've had a few.
There needs to be more leeway.
Yeah, like they need to be flexing some of these games more often. Like, because I get why they're putting some of these teams on there. Like their division games, Saints, Bucks. Like, yeah, I get it. It's normally a good game when they play, but we're this far into the season. The fucking Bucks are ugly to watch. The Saints are ugly to watch. Nobody wants to watch that game, man. Kind of the same thing with this Thursday night game. Like, the Raiders have had moments. They've been kind of on a hot streak. But nobody wants to see the fucking Rams play, man. Baker Mayfield, I will say, breaking this game down. Baker Mayfield, he played his heart out. Coming in, only being on the team for 2 days.
For like 2 days.
Yeah.
Had 2 days to learn a playbook and he outplayed Derek Carr, in my opinion. He put up 250 yards. And he even led them on a game-winning drive. Like,
yeah. I will say one thing about this game. I don't think the Rams and Baker Mayfield won this game. I think the Raiders lost this game. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
like
100%.
they had the lead, and 3 minutes left, they scored 2 touchdowns. Like,
Josh Jacobs was that fucking guy, man.
yeah,
He was trying.
They put up. This is like I swear this is like the 5th game this year that the Raiders in the first half put up 16, 20, 30 points, whatever it is. And then just come out and don't do fucking anything the rest of the game, and then end up losing the game. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, at this point, Stafford. If I was Stafford, I'd just sit out the rest of the year. So I would think Baker's probably playing the rest of the year as the starter for the Rams. Which I think will be good. I know we talk about it all the time too, Nick. Like these first overall draft picks just get chance after chance after chance, and I don't necessarily agree with it. But I've been somewhat of a Baker fan throughout his career. Like I don't mind the guy. I don't think he's the best, but I've never really minded the guy. So being like that kind of a little fan of him, like it's cool to see him get another chance. Maybe he can turn this around and somehow sign somewhere in the off season, and you know what I mean, be a backup or potentially a starter somewhere. I don't know where, but I don't know. Maybe he turns it around. We'll see. Next we got the Jets and the Bills game. What were your thoughts on this game, Nick?
I don't know. I thought the Jets had a chance, but it was close pretty much throughout the whole game. And then when I saw in red zone, fucking Mike White literally got like destroyed twice. I mean, he went out both times, ended up coming back in both times, but just didn't have enough in it. I don't know. They were close, but they just. It's like one of these games that like you can see like the difference between like your quarterback and like your teams. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
The Jets are talented. They have talent. They're getting there, but they just didn't have enough to overcome the Bills.
Yeah. I think another thing, like I know the Jets is a really tough defense, but this is just, in my opinion, just another not great game for Josh Allen.
I mean, yeah, that too. Another stinker.
I feel like we've been talking about that in recent weeks. And again, I feel like every team has their 2, 3, 4 weeks a year that they kind of slow down, or you know what I mean, whatever you want to call it. And I'm sure that's what's happening with the Bills right now. I'm sure they'll get it figured out maybe, but they're not looking the greatest at the moment.
I'll tell you what, if somebody doesn't tell this guy to stop fucking running so much, he's not going to be a franchise quarterback for very long.
Oh, 100%.
I think at some point he's going to have, I think at this point, I would say, like, Josh Allen is a better thrower than Cam Newton. Like, he's literally a Cam Newton.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like, same size, but he's a better thrower.
I get what you're saying, and I do agree with it, but I think...
Do you not see that one play where he literally ran and, like, helicopter flipped around for a first down?
That's what I'm getting at.
It's week fucking 14. No, it's week 14.
Nick, that's what I'm getting at.
Like,
it's not so much that he's running, it's the way he's running. He runs, and when he gets near a guy, he tries to get those 2 extra yards, or will try to hurdle a guy, or he'll try to juke and ends up doing a helicopter around a dude. Like, just slide. It's okay to run, just slide. This guy always does this extra shit and ends up fucking,
that's what I'm saying.
like contorting his body in
if
some
you
weird
helicopter
way.
Flip around, land on your head, and next thing you know I don't know, you have a fucked up neck, whatever. Like you're done, like your career's over, or you're done for the year, whatever. Like your whole season's pretty much a wash at that point. Then
and Lamar kind of does that same thing sometimes too. That's why I worry about Lamar. Like if you think about it, like let me look at real quick. Who's like the quote unquote rushing quarterback? I mean, the only one I could think of is Jalen Hurts right now. And when you watch him like run, because he runs a good amount, I'll say that, right? When you watch him run, like he doesn't put his body in those harm's way. You know what I mean? Like versus Josh Allen does it 12 times a game. It feels like at this point, the dude just. So I mean, I agree completely with what you're saying. Like it, and it's like I said, it's not so much that he's running; it's just the way he runs. If he keeps running the way he does and taking all those hits, it's just not going to be
just
good.
Taking all those extra hits for no reason. Like we're in week fucking 14. You save that shit for the Super Bowl, the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's when it matters. You getting those extra 2 yards in a regular season game isn't gonna fucking matter all that much if you're not even gonna be able to play the Super Bowl or be able to play in the playoff games.
100%. And he's gotten lucky thus far. Like he hasn't really missed a whole lot of time for getting injured while running. You know what I mean? But in that
who's
sense,
to say that he's not fucking hurting on the sideline? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's played like shit the last couple of weeks. At some point, I'm sure he's sitting on the bench and saying, "Fuck me, my legs hurt.
I'm tired.
My ass hurts. My back hurts." Like,
no, 100%. You know
what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's got to stop with that shit because it's not sustainable at all.
if you're gonna run, look at Mahomes. Mahomes
Yeah.
literally always goes out of bounds, always goes down.
Hmm.
Like very few times I've ever seen Mahomes like take the extra hit for no reason. Like
And if he does, it's in like a critical situation to where he knows like this is the game. I have to fight for these 2 yards
yeah,
or something like that. You know what I mean? But like other than that, I mean, like you said, he's either sliding or going out of bounds or saving his body.
it's getting to the point where it's like if he gets hurt, it's like I don't want to be the person, but like, told you so. Like
Yeah, no, 100%.
you've done this shit too many times at this point.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
you're a
agree.
quarterback, you're not the running back. For the love of God, please Buffalo draft a fucking 200-pound running back or someone
Yeah.
that you just feed the ball to because this guy needs to stop.
Yeah, he just and it.
Like when I watched him helicopter up in the air, I was like, "There's no fucking way."
Yeah.
Like
And you almost feel bad because it almost seems like he thinks that he has to do it all, so that's why he does that. So it's like I don't know if that's because he knows that they don't have a top tier running back or they don't have a run game or I don't know, but he's just trying to be Superman and it's not gonna work, not in the NFL. Next we got the Browns and the Bengals. Bengals pretty much dominated this whole game. They lost
Yeah.
T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd like on the first drive, but they still had Jamar Chase, so that worked out. Running back duo did good for the Bengals. On the other side of the ball, Watson had a better game. His throwing was like looking better. His timing was looking a little bit better. Not so many of these like low throws. Still not where you want to be at for that contract you signed and what they gave up for him. And again, we've talked about it plenty of times. It's going to take him a few games just to knock off the rust and get back into it. But I think that he's taking steps in the right direction. He threw his first passing touchdown in 707 days, which is absolutely nuts to think that he hasn't played in that long. But, I mean, Bengals dominated again. I think they're starting to hit their stride at the late part of the season. They worried
Yeah, I
me
completely
in the
agree.
first half.
I don't know. I think they had control of this game from what I've seen. Pretty much, like Joe
No,
Burrow
oh,
was pretty much doing
I
what he
mean,
wanted.
first half of like the season, not the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the Browns had opportunities there, but they're just again like it's literally a new quarterback basically trying to learn a new scheme. Like it's not there yet. You can tell it's not there yet. But the hope is probably like I said, probably by the end of the year you start to see it click a little bit more than what we've seen so far, and hopefully it gets better.
I think the biggest thing you want to see like out of Watson in this offense is just taking steps each and every week.
Yeah,
you
like
want to take
gradual
steps,
improvement.
because and we've seen that in the past 2 weeks. So if that's a sign for anything, then I think they'll be okay in the next year, the later games maybe. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Bengals dominated this whole game pretty much. Next we got. Before we get
Probably one of the biggest surprises.
before we get into this game too much, I just want to say one thing. I've talked shit on the Texans. I always talk shit on the Cowboys. Y'all know this at this point. But I was really excited watching these games, hoping that I could get on here. My dogs are going nuts. I don't get it. I'm over it. Sorry, y'all, if y'all hear that. But I was hoping I could get on here, when I was watching this game yesterday, I was hoping I could get on here and just completely shit on the Cowboys. Can't really happen because they won. But I will say, if they did lose, I was going to shit on them so bad because you lost to a 1-10-1 team that everybody is pretty much dominantly winning. I know the Texans have had a few games here and there where they've kept it close. But I mean, if you think about it, the Texans controlled this whole game. The Cowboys won at the last second. You know what I mean? I think the Cowboys are still one of the top teams in the NFL, but this ain't a good sign. If you can't dominantly beat the Texans, then I don't know.
No, I think it's like we talked about before. Like they're just a fraud type team.
Yeah.
Like they win their division games here and there. They win against these other teams, but then when they come and play like these low tier type teams, like they just for whatever reason they always play down to their opponents. It almost seems like.
Yeah, I agree. And
You know what I mean? Like they'll come out there and stun you and play like a Vikings team and they'll win or something like that, and then like the next week they come out and play like a Texans and
yeah,
they don't show up, and it's like, how are you that inconsistent?
no,
I feel like that
100%.
ever since I've been growing up, and America's team, the Cowboys, like every time I've ever watched them on prime time games, it always seems like whenever they're playing a bad team that they should just smoke, they play down to them. They
Yeah,
somehow almost lose them or somehow win at the last second. Like
yeah.
it's
And
just it just makes no sense.
I was
They've
talking
always
about
been like that mediocre type team. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, 100%. And I was talking to my dad about like this Cowboys team, and I was telling him, I was like, dude, like their defense is nasty. You can't discredit that. They got a good run game. I don't think Dak is the guy, and I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it like until he can prove me otherwise. I in my eyes, he's what, top 10, top 12 quarterback. Like I know that's still kind of high up there, but I just don't think he can put his team and win them in those situations. You know what I mean? Like those final drives, I just think it's hard for him to drive down and win the game. Like they do it sometimes, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just don't see that in him. I've never been the biggest fan of him. Yeah, I mean, Texans.
I think he's like that top 12 to 15 type quarterback, and to me, like they're good enough to win probably games here and there. They might be good enough to maybe win a Super Bowl. You never know if they get the right circumstances. But like when you're in that top 12 to 15 range, it's so hard because the guys above you just look so much better, and it's
100%.
like,
And they can take their team to
and
that
then
next level.
and then you get those fans that can see it from the both sides, and the owners and the GMs also can see it as well. Like, do you have Mahomes or do you have a Ryan Tannehill or Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
They're good enough to win you games, sure, but do you not want the Mahomes or do you stick with what you already got? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's the whole argument, because there only is five quarterbacks in the top five. There's only five of them,
Yeah.
right? Every year you want to get someone in that top five. By the end of the year, out of the 32 starting quarterbacks, there's only five.
Yeah.
And it's not very easy to get there.
100%.
And that's what I feel like the whole argument has become now, is like with the whole Tua, the Burrow, the Herbert, like the Hurts, like they're all in those conversations with each other because they're all in the same draft class and stuff. And they always have Mahomes as, again, he's always talked about as well. Like he's probably the best quarterback, if not like literally the best. Like I don't know, he has to be the best. There's no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like that's literally the measuring stick, and then you have everyone else being compared to him. And it's like, do you want to stick with those Kirk Cousins? Like that's the whole argument, and it's like it's getting to the point where it's like almost annoying. But at the end of the day, like I get it, and I don't know. That to me is like that's Dak Prescott versus Mahomes. Like
Yeah.
12 versus 1. Like I don't know.
Let me
He's
ask
good
you
enough
this
to win you
question.
games, but I don't know if you want to stick with him.
Let me ask you this question because we can compare these two teams a little bit because they kind of have the same record, and I've seen the quarterbacks on these two teams get compared the same way, and you've already mentioned his name. Would you rather have like money situation set aside, age set aside? If somebody said we'll give you a pretty solid team, a good enough team to make the playoffs, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins? Who are you taking?
Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins?
Yeah. Or are they just too similar to you to where it doesn't matter?
I feel like they're pretty much similar to like players.
Yeah. No, I've seen a lot of people be comparing
I'd put them on
to,
the same tier.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I thought you were gonna give me like Herbert or Tua type thing.
No, well,
That's what
I
I
mean,
thought you were
yeah,
saying.
I mean, in my opinion, and I'm sure in yours, you're taking Tua or Herbert over Dak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason I compared them to is because I was seeing some videos and I was watching this dude stream that talks about football every now and again, and somebody was talking about Dak Prescott, and they were pretty much saying that he's the guy and he's this and he's the Messiah or whatever, and he was like, dude, he's just Kirk Cousins. He was like, the only difference between Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott is one's a white boy and one's light skinned. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like, I think they're very comparable quarterbacks. And again, we've hyped up Kirk Cousins, but we've hyped up Kirk Cousins in the sense of like, there's people out there that say he's like a bottom 20 quarterback, and we put him in the 12 to 15, maybe top 10 range. Same could be said about Prescott. We put him in that same range. You know what I mean? The only reason we hype up Cousins is because we think he's overlooked, versus I don't think that Dak Prescott is necessarily overlooked. I think a lot of people kind of have him in that same range. Unless you're a Cowboys fan, they probably put him in top 5.
Anyone's putting him that guy in top 5, you're not a fucking fan at all.
Yeah, no, I
You're
agree.
delusional at that point.
I mean, all Cowboys fans are delusional. They think he's the
You
GOAT.
need to be locked into the fucking asylum for being insane.
But
You
I
think
do
he's a
find them
top 5
very
quarterback.
comparable. But I mean, like you said, if it was Herbert, Hurts, Tua, any of these dudes, you're taking them over Prescott. I mean, I think if you take
Without a
Prescott
shadow
over
of a
them, you're
doubt.
crazy. Yeah. Moving on, we got the Vikings at the Lions. Lions were favored in this game, man. And it's just because the Vikings literally have like the worst defense in the NFL. Credit to the Lions. They're playing their hearts out and they're actually playing good football. They got a chance at a playoff. I think if they win out, which is almost likely, they could probably make the playoffs with a little help maybe. I think the Vikings, we like this team, Nick, but I think their defense is just, it might end up costing them in the end.
Wait, sorry, what was the last part?
I was just saying, like, we like this Vikings team, but at the end of the day, I think when it comes down to, like, playoff times and things like that, their defense is going to cost them games.
Yeah, I agree. We've always talked about it that when it comes to playoffs, like your defense is what wins you games in your run game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing in those cold games, like if you're playing in Buffalo, if you're playing in Kansas City. You know what I mean? Like those are
Yeah.
hard places to win in.
100%.
But
And I think,
yeah, their
think Kirk
defense really needs to fucking step it up
yeah,
because
they're bad.
they look like they can't even stop a fucking nosebleed at this point. Like
Uh,
I watched them and they just look lost. Like
they're just getting beat everywhere in the trenches,
that's what I'm saying. Like
on the
they just
outside. Like,
they just don't look good, and it's like this was a good game. I watched a lot of it, but I don't know. It's like at the end of the day, that defense, man, you got to show up at some point.
yeah. I will say there is one turning tide of this game that we've talked about a bit, Nick. That Jefferson touchdown. I mean, there would have been another minute on the clock if they reviewed that and counted.
I
That
told
as a
you,
touchdown.
I told you, I saw that shit, and I was like, how was that
Yeah.
not a touchdown? Like it literally was inbounds.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe they stopped the play because it's so dumb. You have replay for a fucking reason. Just let the game
Yeah.
go. Whatever happens, it happens. Let the play finish. Stop the game. Go to the replay. Did that happen? Did it not happen? And figure it out from there.
Yeah,
I
because
don't care if the game takes an extra 5 to 10 minutes
yeah,
because you're reviewing it. As long as you get it fucking right.
Yeah.
I don't care.
'Cause
Just
this
get it
can't be
fucking
happening.
right.
I mean that was like
Like,
every
that's a huge
single
play.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean because they like you said they scored on that drive. Yeah, but if they would have scored on
I
that
just want to say
play,
one more
they
thing.
would have had
One more
another
thing. Can I
minute.
say one more thing?
Yeah,
Because like this is another issue too, is you have all these gambling fucking partners, all this money that you put into sports betting, all that shit. Like who's to say if you bet on a fucking Jefferson touchdown, you would have been fucked over.
yeah,
Fantasy football, all these money leagues. There's so much money on the line with these sports and sports betting and all that shit aside, and it's garbage because it's like
Yeah.
at this point you're making shit almost seem rigged. Like that was
Yeah.
a guaranteed all the way touchdown. Feet were inbounds all the fucking way. Like if I bet on a Jefferson touchdown and I didn't get paid my money for it, I would have fucking bitch slapped someone. There's no
Oh, yeah.
way. Like that was really rigged as fuck.
Not only that, I mean, like, there's dudes out there, like, and I'm a massive fan of Justin Jefferson. I always have been. I always will be. It just sucks, too, in the sense of, like, this dude is chasing a 2,000-yard season, essentially, Nick. That's another
Yeah.
40 yards and a touchdown that he
And that's
could have
another
been
thing too, like
considered
all their
for, like,
incentives on their contracts,
Yeah,
right?
like-
For getting touchdowns and stuff like that. Like there's so much money on the line in this game in a billion-dollar industry that it's like you can't not let plays just go. Like
yeah.
it makes no fucking sense. That's
and-
why you have cameras. That's why you have replay. Like just let it
Yeah.
go.
And where's the harm in letting that run out, calling
It's
it a
a touchdown,
touchdown,
and then
you
calling it back.
automatically review it. If he stepped out, you call it back, you move the ball back. That's the end of it.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It's so dumb. Like
Yeah.
I fucking can't stand when they do that shit. Like aren't they literally trained now to not let the to
Yeah,
not blow
they
it?
are.
Like
So it's like, what's going on here?
Jesus.
And I think
Like,
the
that
problem
shit bugged
too,
the fuck out of me.
the problem too that pisses me off even more, Nick, is like I get it. We're all human at the end of the day. You put things in place to run a certain way. Like, yeah, he's supposed to let the play run out and then review it. Like, yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, what's also not going on enough is the NFL coming back later and saying, hey, this was a touchdown. We fucked up. Like, we're sorry. At least have some accountability for it. You know what I mean? But you go on the next week and
I'm
nothing
so
happens
tired of
about
the
it.
fucking,
And
like, the referee bullshit egos. Like, it's the same thing with baseball. It pisses me off in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to get robot umpires because they're so nervous about hurting this guy's fucking ego and feelings. I don't give a shit. You're not the game. I don't pay to
Yeah.
watch you. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
paying to watch fucking, what's that guy's name that always misses the calls? Fuck, I always hear his name on
Ed
MLB.
Hockley?
No,
The fucking... Yeah, I know who you're
fuck,
talking
what's
about.
that guy's name? Holy shit, I can't think of
He
his name.
sucks
Everyone
so
always
bad.
talks about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He's like
I
one of
do.
the big ones that everyone always
Yeah,
talks
yeah,
shit
yeah.
about. But it's like, I'm not paying money, and people aren't buying jerseys with your name on it, referee. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
we're not.
care. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
buzzed the fuck out of me. I don't care if you hurt his feelings. I don't care if you blast him, whatever. Like, it's your job at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do. Get the calls right, and you won't be patronized. You won't be scrutinized. Like, that's what I don't understand. It's like, have some accountability and say, yeah, we messed up. This was the correct call. It should have been this. That's on us. Like, we'll do better.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll put things in place
be
to make
open,
sure
be
this doesn't
accountable,
happen
like-
again. Yeah, that's my biggest thing with it. Like, I get we're humans and we make mistakes, but at least acknowledge your fucking mistakes, because it seems like every week there's a call that is scrutinized for the moment it happens, and then after that everybody forgets about it, and the NFL doesn't say anything. That's even like these roughing the passer calls. We get one every week that makes no fucking sense, and there's nothing that's
it's no
put in
different than,
place
like-
to change it. Like, it just... Not only that, you would have had a better game at the end of the day versus the Lions. Like, it would have put them with an extra minute on the board. They would have scored quicker. Who knows what would have happened? You could have had another all-time game like you did against the Bills. You know what I mean? Like, and that's good for NFL because you get more exposure. Like, you would think you would want that at the end of the day, but no.
It's the same thing too with those like, what was it, 2-3 years ago when they allowed the replay, like,
On the pass
two
interferences?
challenges for pass interference.
Yeah.
And none of them ever got overturned.
Yeah.
Because, like, they don't want to hurt his feelings ever. It's like,
Boo fucking who.
I don't care, dude. Like, you got the call wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. I get it. You're human. When you're watching that shit in fast motion, good fucking luck trying to, like, see
Yeah,
every
it's
little
so
thing.
hard,
I get
man.
that.
I mean,
But that's why there's replays. Like,
And-
I
and
understand too, like, the whole time thing that it took forever too. I didn't like it either, but my God, when, like, you should be allowed to challenge at least
Yeah.
one play or something, like one flag or something. You know what I mean? Like, you get one
Yeah.
challenge for a penalty. Like, that's it.
and not only
Because
that,
some of these penalties are so fucking bad.
not only that, they need to be better about, like, I don't know what the timing was on that. I don't know if it was under 2 minutes or not. Like, could have the Vikings challenged that if they wanted to? Like, why are we not challenging?
No, because the play was blown dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's blown dead. So there's
When it's blown dead, you can't
yeah,
challenge
you
it.
can't
It's
challenge
stupid
it,
as fuck.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So that needs to be fixed. Like, it just so many things that could be fixed about it. Like, and the other thing, like you were saying, like they don't want to hurt their feelings. You would think if you're a referee, you would want them to review it so you can get the call right. Because if I'm a ref, at the end of the day, I just want to get the calls right. You know what I mean? Like, why are we having such an ego over it?
that's all I'm saying. It bugs the shit in me. Like, nobody pays to watch the referee.
Yeah.
Literally nobody.
Nobody.
Like, it's so dumb to me that, like, we're stuck here in 2022 and we're still getting fucking shit wrong with fucking video replays and
With
shit.
all this technology, man. Like, what's crazy about it too, like I know I said this earlier, but my biggest thing with it is I don't even care if the Vikings won. I don't care about fantasy. I don't care about sports betting. I just want to see Jefferson get the yards for his stats. Like, that's all I cared about. You know what I mean? Just because I know the dude is like, he's at 1,500 yards. I mean, he'd be at like
what I'm saying.
1,540
It's
and would have
fucking
been
garbage.
400 away from 2,000. Like, it just sucks in that aspect the most, in my opinion. It's stupid.
Moving on to the Eagles game, though, I'm fucking over that
Yeah,
shit.
no, we had our little rant in that happens every now
Fuck
and
the
again.
referees, man, sometimes.
They're just blowing games every week. It seems like they're blowing games. Next we got
So many fucking phantom calls, man.
yeah, no, I agree. Next we got the Eagles and the Giants. I mean,
Not much to talk about. Eagles showed up,
Yeah.
slapped them around. See you later. Went home.
I want to say
Like-
one thing. Again, gonna sound like a broken record at this point.
If you don't have Hurts at number 2 in MVP voting, what are you doing?
That and this Eagles team as a whole, the way they're winning games is crazy to me. They're literally doing absolutely, like, every week they're doing something different to win the games. You know what I mean?
They look like the most complete team right now.
Yeah. What's crazy
Defense,
to me,
run game, offense, passing.
I was watching, it was Good Morning Football or something, and somebody was putting the Cowboys over the Eagles, and it's like, how does that make sense? How are the Eagles at 12-1 and not the best team in football? How?
Yep.
You have no argument to this point. You can't even say that they haven't played anybody because the Giants are 7-5. That's a playoff team. It seems like every team they're playing now are playoff teams, and they're beating them. And not only beating them, they're fucking obliterating them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just my little rant on that because there's still been a lot of doubters.
I just want to say too, I don't know what happened to the Giants. I saw a stat that they were 7-1, and now they're what 7-5-1.
I will say I do know what happened. A lot of their wins,
Jesus.
Nick, have came down to coming back at the last second and winning the game. And I don't want to call those like fluke games, but it's just not sustainable, right? You're not going to always come back and win. You know what I mean? Because at the beginning of the season, a lot of their wins were like comeback wins, which is awesome. I mean, that shows a lot of grit, a lot of heart. They never gave up.
Let me pull up Barkley's stats real quick. I feel like he's been getting shut the fuck down.
He's
too.
been getting shut down the past few weeks, it seems like. He hasn't had one of those weeks in quite a bit.
Let me see. Yeah, the last time he went over 100 yards was against Houston back in Week 10. The closest he's been was against Washington with 63.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it makes sense why
they're
they've
struggling.
been losing. At the end of the day, though, as expected, you guys, the Giants were overperforming.
Oh, yeah.
We said it before. Maybe they're coming down to earth a bit. It is what it is.
No disrespect either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no disrespect. Good coaching. You guys were outperforming what your talent was. Hopefully they improve next year in the drafts and free agency and all that, and we can get some good fights going here.
One more thing I do want to say about the Eagles. I think I talked about it. I think I talked about it with you, Nick. I might have mentioned it on the podcast. The biggest weakness for the Eagles was stopping the run game, right? Like, there was a few weeks that they were getting torched in the run game. Here we are the past 2 weeks. They went against Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, arguably two of the best running backs in the league, right?
Yep.
They held Barkley to what, like 40 yards or something like that? And then the week before, they held Derrick Henry to, I think, again, 40 yards. So they're addressing their biggest weakness. They got Jordan Davis back. They've signed Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph to plug up some holes on the D-line. So that was my biggest worry when it came down to the Eagles because they were getting ran all over for a bit. And I'm starting to see that that's not happening anymore. So that's a positive sign for the Eagles to get even better. You know what I mean? Which is something you want to see going into the playoffs. Yeah, moving on, we got, the Ravens and the Steelers.
Dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, no Lamar. Tyler Huntley went out with an injury. I don't...
much, like, I think it was, like, right at, like, first quarter or something. It was early, wasn't it?
It wasn't, like, super... I think it was second quarter, maybe. Second,
First half,
maybe
second
early
quarter.
third. Yeah, but, I mean, still, like, half the game left when he went out. And he got hit hard. I almost want to say that I feel like I saw somewhere that he's going to be out next week already or potentially. And I also saw that Lamar's potentially not coming back till Christmas. So the next week or two maybe they're going to be on their third string quarterback unless Lamar gets strides and gets better or Tyler Huntley comes back. I don't know, but probably not a good sign for the Ravens right now. Just a bad game overall, though. Like, nothing exciting really happened in this game.
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, he
too,
did go
right?
out, too. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky. He went out, like, early.
Okay, so it was... Okay, yeah. So I was thinking of something else. I was thinking of Kenny Pickett probably.
Yeah.
Because Kenny Pickett went out as well. And then Mitch Trubisky came in. That's... Jesus.
Yeah, just a battle of backup quarterbacks at this point.
The third versus the backup, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Ravens still pulled it out. That's good. I think they're probably going to make the playoffs at this point, unless something drastic happens.
I think the thing is they're leading the division, so.
Yeah, they're tied with the Bengals at 9-4, and then they have the tiebreaker because they beat the Bengals.
Yeah, so if they can hold it down a 1 or 2 weeks without Lamar, maybe.
Yeah.
And then when Lamar comes back, that helps them with their playoff push at the end, you know what I mean?
I almost want to say, hold on, let me check real quick. I almost want to say week 18, the Ravens and the Bengals play. That could come down to who wins the division. Yeah, they do. So week 18, the Ravens and the Bengals play.
That'd be a big game then.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, just a kind of.
You know a player that's disappeared for the Ravens? Mark Andrews.
He really has, man. He dealt with the injuries for a couple weeks, but like, he hasn't done shit lately. Like nothing.
Let me see.
This offense is just in shambles, though. I mean, it's been in shambles for a few weeks.
His last receiving TD is all the way back in week 6.
Wow. That's crazy.
And that was against the Giants.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people were out there projecting he was going to have a better year than Kelsey because the Ravens had nobody else. You know what I mean?
His last 100 game also against the Giants.
Wow. I mean...
Last time he's went over 50 yards was Denver, and he had 50 against Jacksonville, 63 against Carolina. I don't know. I mean, he's still getting catches here and there, but just not getting touchdowns at all.
I will say that this whole year, bro, like, this Raven offense has just not looked like the Ravens offense. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just missing that Marquise Brown. The first couple weeks it kind of did because they had Bateman. I think they're just missing the outside threat. Like, I think that's kind of what made them 2-3 dimensional, but now it seems like they're 1 dimensional. Granted, they've literally been cycling different running backs in like every week. Now that J.K. Dobbins is back, I think he had 120 yards and a tutty. Maybe they get back to their identity and start running the ball more. But we'll see.
Hopefully, because they're getting their quarterbacks killed.
Yeah, they are. Next, we got maybe the second upset of the week. Some people, I would maybe call the Lions an upset just because you would think the Vikings would win that because they're a little bit better. But this one's definitely an upset to most. The Jaguars have been kind of underperforming. Titans had a bad game.
Trevor Lawrence came out and showed that he's a potential franchise guy, man.
He had a day, Nick. Like, what, 4 tutties, 3 tutties? Like, 368
I think he had
yards?
4 touchdowns in total, 1 rushing, 3 passing.
God damn.
Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns passing, 368 yards, 30 for 42. And then he also had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah. And
so, have a day, Trevor Lawrence.
That's good too because like you look at it and you're like, well, you don't want the guy.
And Evan Ingram had a day too.
Yeah,
11 catches, 15 targets, 162 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
My lord.
The Jaguars' run game got shut down. I think Travis Etienne had 17 rushes on 32 yards.
Yep.
At one point, he had like 8 attempts for 8 yards.
His longest run was 7.
Yeah. Not a good day for the running game, but Trevor Lawrence put the team on his back, which is something you want to see out of a quote-unquote franchise quarterback, right? I mean, can't run the ball? Well,
Derrick
put it in the
Henry,
arm.
17 attempts, 121 yards, 7.1 a carry. He was doing it.
Nick, you know what's funny about that?
Jesus.
He had like 97 yards in the first quarter or some shit. So they pretty much shut him down after the first quarter. He didn't do shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I mean, a good dominating win out of the Jags. I've said it before. I think the Jags are a little bit better than the record. Maybe they're starting to hit their stride. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
I forgot to do a shout out to Trayvon Walker, is that his name? He had a fumble there?
Yeah, he
fumble
did.
Recovery.
Finally got his name out there a bit. He's been...
Where is he, Walker? He had... I don't know how to look at this. Do you have any sacks? I don't know how you count this. Looks like he had 1. Is that a tackle for loss or a sack? I can't tell. The way this thing is set up, it's like I can't look at defense.
Let me see if I can pull it up here.
I don't know if he had a tackle for loss or a sack. I know he had a fumble recovery, I'm pretty sure.
1 forced fumble. Yeah, you're probably looking at the same thing I am because it's not showing. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, he had one sack, one forced fumble. So he probably got a strip sack.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So he's had kind of a. He hasn't had a number 1 overall draft pick type year, but he's been like decent. You know what I mean? I still think they probably reached. I think they should have probably taken Aiden Hutchinson over him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in his career.
I feel like some pass rushers start out slow for first year and then kick it off next year.
No, 100%. And I mean, the reason they drafted him is just because he's like an athletic freak, right? They said, all right, we're going to take the better athlete and see if we can maybe develop a couple things. And so maybe something's happening there.
Trevor Lawrence looks like he's developing, so I ain't going to hate on it.
No, 100%. I mean, we've been kind of like I think you've been not the biggest fan of Trevor Lawrence, but you've also said at the same time, like, the dude's starting to ball. You know what I mean? Like, you gave him credit once he started to kind of turn it around. And I feel the same way. Like, he's getting there. So, good signs for the Jaguars team. Titans need to figure it out. I think they still probably win this division, right? 7-6. Jaguars are in second at 5-8. So, only way they wouldn't is if the Jaguars get hot and the Titans get cold, which is possible, but we'll see.
I think it's unlikely.
No, I think so too.
Moving on to this AFC West showdown, though. This was the biggest surprise in my opinion. For me alone, this was huge. Russell Wilson was looking great.
Great.
For whatever fucking reason.
And then he died.
Yeah, he got literally destroyed on a football field. The way he was staring in his...
Oh my God. Like, they showed that for so long, Nick. I don't know why.
It just, like... You can just look at... It's like looking at someone, but they're just lifeless. Like, you just look at their eyes, they're looking, but they're not there.
100%.
Like, I told you, like, that man saw Jesus, saw God, shook hands, like, he was not there. I'm so glad that they took him out of the game, because there's no way that dude was not concussed.
No, 100%.
There's just no fucking way. Like, the way he got tackled, too, like, I feel so bad. Like, again, it sucks, too, because, like, he was actually having a really good game for once.
Probably his best game of the season.
Looking great. They were in a position to... I think they were on the red zone there when he ran, and then he got hit from behind, smacked his head on the ground really hard, and I don't even know. I think it was Bryce Rippon was the backup, I think, went in, right? That's his name?
Brett Rippon.
Or Brett Rippon, sorry. But yeah, it feels so bad. It's like they were in that game all the way through, and it sucks to see that happen, man, because it's like you finally look good in the Broncos there, and then you get taken out. Yeah, he had 3 touchdowns before he got taken out.
The only thing I have to say about this, and this might be an unpopular opinion, and just roll with me while I say it, okay?
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Great. Best quarterback in the league, probably, right?
He was cruising at one point. He had it on cruise control. They were chilling.
3 interceptions, Nick.
Yep.
My thing with it is, and I went on this rant talking to my parents about it, and I kind of got a little hyped over it, and I'll try not to do it so much right now. Everybody loves, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, everybody loves to tweet out these videos of what he does. He does this no-look pass, no-look toss or whatever, and then it scores a touchdown. He evades some sacks. It's all sick. I get it.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think that no-look...
quarterback?
In a sense. In my opinion, I think that in my opinion, I think that no-look pass was extra. I don't think he had to no-look it. I think he maybe could have thrown it normal. I feel like he does that sometimes just for the, the flair. But at the same time, he's been better in recent... And I'm trying to word it the right way so I don't sound like a dumbass, right?
Yeah,
in past years, he's been good. He's taking care of the ball. This year, he's 3rd in the league in interceptions. That's not good, in my opinion.
Like 3rd highest, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's tied with Josh Allen at 11, and then you got Matt Ryan at 13 and Davis Mills at 12. So you're tied for 3rd worst in the league. And here you are being a quote-unquote best quarterback in the league, number 1 MVP candidate. Like... It's one of those things to where if you're going to praise what he does in these videos and you're, oh my God, he's so amazing, You need to be on the other side saying, what the fuck are you doing, Patrick Mahomes? Stop throwing interceptions. You know what I mean? There's just not enough of that, in my opinion. It's just so much of, hey, let's hype this guy up. He's fucking awesome.
I think it goes
And
hand in
then-
hand with the thing, too, that if you win, they don't care. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. But 3 interceptions is not good, no matter how you want to look at it. Winning, losing, you can't throw 3
yeah,
picks.
100%. 100%, yeah, I agree. Whenever I think of the no-look pass, I always think about that one with, I don't remember what year it is. Maybe like 18, 19, whatever year. Maybe 20, something like that.
Uh-huh.
But it's the one where, like, he no-look passes it to Kelsey running to the end zone. And, like, Kelsey's, like wide open. And, like, the ball sails into, like, the end into the
Yeah.
fucking stands. Like, to the far, like, left.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
and he
you just-
overthrew it.
And it's, like, the guy's wide open. Like, just make the fucking easy throw. Like, you don't have to, like...
Yeah.
There are times, like, I agree with what you say. Like, he does the flare, flashy type play, and it's like, just
You
make
need
the
to do
throw.
that.
Like,
yeah.
he's open. Like, you don't have to make the crazy throw. Like, just throw it. He's
Yeah.
open. It's almost like sometimes, like, you see, like, how we talk about Zach Wilson. Like, the guy's open, just trust himself, throw it. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, Patrick Mahomes does trust himself, does throw it, but he throws it sidearm, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, just throw the ball. Like, fuck me. Like,
That's my biggest thing with it. Like, I just feel like some of it's extra for no reason. Like, could he have
Yeah,
made
I
that
agree.
throw normal? Maybe, maybe not. But he definitely could have looked at the dude when he threw it. Nobody was around him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just that whole
I get
no-look
it.
thing makes no sense. And I just my thing too. My biggest thing is if you're gonna hype him up for these things, you need to bring him down for these other things. So that's my only sense.
Yeah,
with
I agree 100%.
it. But I mean, Broncos, Russell Wilson, that's so tough because he definitely had his best game of the year. He was probably going to break the number of toilets in his house this game, maybe. But I don't think he did. I think he's probably at like 12-10 now. But Broncos had a chance. Defense stepped up, shut them down. Chiefs did the Chiefs thing and pulled it out. Another probably upset of the week, right? Panthers, Seahawks? The Seahawks' run game has been abysmal the last 3 weeks, first off. Geno
I think,
Smith.
What's his name was hurt, wasn't he? Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker, yeah, he was out. So, but even when he's been there the last 2 weeks, they've barely been running the ball. And it's a combination of I don't think they're giving him enough touches and just kind of getting shut down. But this Panthers team is like one of the worst run defenses. You should have been running all over the place, and they didn't. And then also that Geno Smith kind of went back to old Geno Smith, threw a couple picks.
Yeah, he had 2 picks this game. I saw that on
Yeah.
Red Zone. Wasn't looking the
And
greatest.
they weren't like picks to where like you give a guy a one-on-one chance. They were like picks to where like dudes were lurking him and just taking the ball. You know what I mean? Whether he didn't
Yeah.
see the guy or whatever. But I mean, Panthers still showing some heart, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, they had Sam Darnold in there. Only his, 5th opportunity starting. Maybe he's a
Yeah.
franchise guy at this point.
I mean,
Fuck that guy.
maybe he's feasible. I doubt it, but we'll
No.
see. Yeah, they definitely got to take a quarterback here. Only downfall of this game.
I don't
in
really
my
have anything
opinion,
to say about this one because I don't really get to see a lot of
yeah.
it.
I will say the only downfall of this game for me, I have Deontay Foreman in about 3 leagues. He had 75-yard rushing at the end of the day. They had 2 running back touchdowns in this game, and not a single one went to him. That's the only downfall I
I
got.
hate that shit.
Dude, it's like I start the number 1 running back, the quote-unquote better running back on the team, and they give the touchdown opportunities to the other 2 guys. It makes no
Yeah,
sense.
that shit bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Next we got Buccaneers, 49ers.
Skip this shit, man. Mr.
49ers,
Irrelevant just went
yeah.
off again. Jesus Christ. Ain't nothing to talk about here.
No, there is though, right?
Tom
Let-
Brady's fucking washed this
Let me
shit.
throw this scenario out for you, Nick. Just roll with me. Brock Purdy takes the
Yep.
team to deep into the playoffs. Next year, what are you doing? Are you bringing back Jimmy G? What are you doing with Trey
Bringing-
Lance? What are you doing with Brock Purdy?
I mean, I think you leave Brock Purdy as a backup and you go with Trey Lance.
Okay. I think that's probably the right play just because you spent so much capital on
You
Trey
spent
Lance.
3 first-round
Yeah.
picks to get Trey Lance. If you
Mhm.
don't start Trey Lance, your GM is getting fired the next day.
No, I agree.
I don't even care about the players you brought in. You're getting fired. There's no way you will ever justify
Yeah.
trading 3 first-round picks for a guy that you don't even
And I wonder if that makes Brock Purdy a trade target for other teams. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be teams that buy him. Again, I'm not sold on this guy, man.
I'm
It's been
not
2
either,
weeks.
but it's only 2 weeks.
It is what it is. We see this shit all the time. Honeymoon period. The guy pops off for a couple weeks. The league starts to fall in love with him, and then the next week he's shit.
Yep.
Mike White was another one the last year.
Yeah.
This year again, he does it a little bit. So it's like again, like people fall in love with these guys for whatever fucking reason,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know, they turn out to be dog shit. And they're like, well, what happened there? And it's like, well, you only looked at it for so little. You know what I mean? Like
No, I agree.
that team is too talented
For anybody
like
to not
to
succeed.
fail. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can't fail with that team.
Yeah,
Like,
you really can't. And that coach.
that's what I'm saying. You got a good scheme, a good system, like good players around you. There's no way you can't put up fucking something with that team.
Yeah. No, I agree. Alright, so real quick, I think the Monday night game that's going on, it says 3-0. I don't know if it's still 3-0. I'm kind of trying to watch it on my phone here and there, but it's at a commercial, so I don't know what the score is. But again, Kyler Murray's still out of the game. We'll recap this game next week whenever we know the final score.
It is 7-3.
7-3? Okay, so Patriots came back and scored. Before we move on, I noticed I skipped a game. Yes, I was trying to save that for last. So we got the Dolphins at the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Nick, you want to take the lead here?
Yeah, it was garbage. Fucking piss poor effort, abysmal all around. It's been 2 weeks where we look like trash. I would say more so last week, it was on Tua more so for the offense. There was guys wide open. He just missed the throws against the 49ers. It happens. It is what it is. This game, I blame on fucking McDaniels for this one.
Okay.
Or McDaniel, sorry. I think you could have easily given your fucking quarterback an easier fucking game plan. For whatever fucking reason, Tua is 3 of like 15, 17, I think, going to the half for like 25 yards in
Yeah.
a fucking half.
Not good.
We have Tyreek Hill, all-pro, Pro Bowl receiver. You have Jalen Waddle, easily Pro Bowl talent receiver. Mike Gesicki, underrated tight end, not doing a whole lot this year. For whatever fucking reason, we paid him. Add in Cedric Wilson, not a bad player, right?
Yeah.
Trent Schofield, who's had his moments on this team.
Yeah.
We go to the running backs now. You have Jeff Wilson Jr.
Who
You then
traded
have Raheem Mostert. You then have Ahmad Savad, I think his name is, something like that. And then you have Myles Gaskin as the backup, again, the former starter from last year. There is more talent on this team as backups than there's like for teams that have starters.
for? Yeah.
And our quarterback is putting up 25 fucking yards in one whole half of football. Against the guy that was drafted behind him, putting up in a whole game. I think Tua ended up putting up like 150, I think maybe if you got to that, 47. Herbert put up like 382,
Yeah.
I think. Like, not only does it suck to lose a game like that because your quarterback plays like ass, whatever, and the whole team plays like ass pretty much. You then lost to the guy that was drafted behind you. So now you're going to have all those memes, all those fucking people talking about it because it's Justin Herbert versus Tua. Then on top of it, to make it even double dagger type of sword, it's on prime fucking time you shit the bed again.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't be playing like this in fucking December games. And I'll come back to McDaniels because what I think he fucked up on is we're throwing the ball down the field so fucking much for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't open. It's not like these guys were fucking running deep and wide open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were consistently throwing it 15, 20 yards on the field when you can easily throw some screen passes, some quick throws. Like, I watched Herbert, and all Herbert was doing was throwing quick passes to Eckler, quick passes to
Giving them run after
to Keenan
catch
Allen.
opportunities.
Then you would have a quick a jump ball up to Mike Williams who would win it. But it's like, aside from those few plays, it's like, other than that, he was pretty much just like throwing it short, throwing it there, throwing it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just giving it to his guys in space, letting them do the work with it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand, like, what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah, I think.
And-
Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, like, the thing to me is when I can tell, like, when you see your quarterback is not 100%, like, they're not in sync, they're not doing good, why not give them easy throws? Like I always say, like, give them easy throws, get them in rhythm, get them going, get the confidence going. You get him on the move, boom, he hits a nice, easy little rollout pass for 2-3 yards. It gets him going. It gets the juices going again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got this. I can do this. Gets him
Gives
back
him
in.
some
You know
confidence.
what I mean? Boom, a nice little check. Then he runs it for 10 yards. Like, okay, I'm back in the game. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like the last 2 weeks, like, we've been so out of sync on offense, and we're not doing ourselves any favors of play calling as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's just fucking abysmal. Like,
my only thing with it is like I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly. I think it's not so much, and I don't even want to say not so much because it is, but like I think it's the fact that they just didn't realize what they wanted to do in that game was taken away from them, and he didn't adjust quick enough, right? Like he wasn't calling different plays.
he didn't
to
even adjust that fucking all.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know. Like
the whole play, like the whole game plan was the same thing the whole fucking way through. Like, what are we doing?
Even I told you, Nick. I said, look, they're trying to throw all these passes across the middle of the field, and the Chargers are just taking the middle of the field away. They're stacking the box. They're stacking the safeties. They're shading them to the middle of the field. Like they're taking that away. Like either, like you said, throw a bunch of short passes, or if you're going to throw the deep ball, throw it down the sideline with Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. You know what I mean? Don't just keep throwing across the middle of the field that's getting broken up every fucking time you throw it.
I'd also love to see the fucking run game get the fuck going. Like,
the Chargers are an abysmal run defense. Y'all should have game planned to run the whole time. Like, the fact that wasn't happening was baffling to me as well. Like, I think the game just could have been called so many different reasons or so many different ways, and you can make up reasons for why, but I think just not a good game plan from the get-go, and then once you realize your game plan was taken away, you didn't adjust quick enough, in my opinion. Because if you think about it, Nick, they literally got this game is 23-3, essentially. Mm-hmm. They got saved by the long touchdown pass by Tua to Tyreek, which is going to happen probably about once a game, right? With somebody like Tyreek. And then you got saved by the fumble return touchdown
that he took all the way, and then you had the fucking touchdown. Like,
so it's like you literally got saved by Tyreek at this point to even make it look like a close game.
Just fucking terrible play calling, man. Just terrible game plan all around. I don't understand where we're gonna go. Like, I don't know where we go from here. We're 8-5. We now play on Saturday night against the fucking Bills. Good fucking luck in Buffalo. We're probably gonna get shit on again, and I don't know.
I don't know. I think McDaniel's got to be looking at this the same way we are and saying, all right, these last 2 weeks have been fucking abysmal. Like, I've got to change something here. I got to, you know what I mean? I would like to think that they come out against the Bills and either look like them old selves or at least look different and a new type of selves. You know what I mean? Like, they've got to do something at this point.
He went to fucking Yale. I hope he's smart enough to fucking game plan and change it up because holy shit.
I think he is. I think he'll be fine. We'll see. But like you said, you sure as hell don't want to have another dud week after this week on primetime
on fucking
again.
Primetime. I mean, again, we play on primetime on fucking Christmas Day as well, so.
Yeah. So, something's got to give with that for sure.
Fucking Christ.
Like you said, the team's just too talented to not be succeeding. Especially against the inconsistent Chargers team. You know what I mean? With all the injuries they have and just so much going on there. Yeah. That's going to wrap up Week 14 recap. We can go ahead and get into Week 15 recap and call it a day.
All right, let's do this.
Just real quick, for anybody watching, we'll point out the records and stuff. Another decent week for me. Me and Nick kind of had a bad week altogether on some of these
Week
picks.
14 was terrible.
Yeah. I'm 10 games ahead now. Yeah, so... starting to take away. I came from the fucking depths, Nick. It's just, it's fun and friendly, though. Alright, so, Thursday night...
You said it, didn't sound fun and friendly,
no,
bitch.
I only say that because, like, sometimes I'll mention that, and you're like, dude, I don't care, it's whatever. But it's like, for me, it's cool because how I started out, like, I've slowly been chipping away.
In the fucking dungeon.
I've been slowly chipping it away at it, and to have the lead now, it's cool. That's why I always mention it. But it's just, like I said, it is fun and friendly. We're just having fun with it. Thursday night, Week 15.
49ers.
We got 49ers, Seahawks. I'm going to go 49ers. Yeah.
I think the defense is too good right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Geno Smith's gonna have a tough game.
Next, we got Saturday games. We got 3 of them this week. Which I don't really know why we have 3 of them this week. I don't get it, but it is what it is.
I already picked it in for us.
Colts Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings. Yep, good call.
I already locked it in.
Gotta
rock the Vikings. It's our team.
Yeah, no, for sure. You picked against them one time, I think, Nick, and pissed me off, but it is what it is. Next, we got the Ravens at the Browns.
I think it was primetime Kirk Cousins, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
It was against the Patriots on Thanksgiving.
I'm going Browns.
You know what?
Down.
I'm going Browns, too. I think the Ravens are dealing with a lot right now. I think the Browns
got a third-string quarterback.
I think Watson has a better game this week, too. We'll see. So we both picked Browns there. Next, we got Dolphins at the Bills. I'm rolling Dolphins. I think they fix it.
If they don't fix it this week, I'm going Dolphins all, but if they don't fix it this week, then that's when the ship starts to sink.
Yeah.
Because then we play the Packers on Christmas, like I said, and after that, I think we play the Patriots
Jets.
and then the Jets.
Yeah.
So it's good luck. We got 2 division games coming up.
Yeah, and this is almost a must-win game after these back-to-back losses, right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You had.
Yeah.
They had a good chance to lock in playoffs, like get it going, and then now with these back-to-back losses, like now you're starting to sputter.
Yep.
Getting tough.
I think another thing y'all can hope for too is since the Jets lost, you need the Pats to lose tonight.
I doubt it with backup fucking Colt McCoy, but
that offense looks better with Colt McCoy than it does Kyler Murray. Next, we got Falcons at the Saints.
I'm gonna go Saints.
I'm going Saints too. I think Olave has himself a fucking day. Next, we got the Steelers and the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers.
Hold on. Wait. Okay, wait.
What?
We gotta mention this real quick, because they are on a bye, right? We're on a bye?
Who? We already talked about Desmond Ridder being the quarterback.
Okay.
Talking about the Falcons? Yeah. I think we mentioned it last episode because it came out last week, but just in case we didn't.
This is his first game though, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be the first game for Desmond Ridder.
That's why I was like looking at the Falcons. I was like, we didn't do a recap because I was like, did we do a recap on him? But I was like, oh wait, they didn't play. They're on a bye.
Yeah.
But yeah, so curious to see how he does.
Definitely a game to be watching for that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Saints as well. So who did you pick? Sorry.
I picked Panthers.
You think the Panthers with Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Look, the Ravens just ran for 120 against the Steelers. The Panthers just ran for like 220 against the fucking.
I'll go Panthers. We'll see.
Might need to start listening to me, Nick. I got a 10-game lead on you. I'm just saying. No, I'm fucking with you. I don't know. I mean, both these teams are just abysmal. I'm almost tossing this one up and picking one. You done with that game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
He's deciding.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one.
Oh, this one. We're on the next one. Eagles, Bears. I don't know. This is a tough one, man. I'm just kidding. I'm taking the fucking Eagles, dude.
Is Justin Fields even playing in this one or no?
Yeah, he is. He's back healthy again.
This one's tough right here.
Chiefs, Texans. I'm taking the Chiefs.
The toss-up, man. I don't know.
You don't know who to pick?
No, I'm picking Chiefs. Let's go. Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I think he needs like. You need like 80. Like remember I told you needed like 87 to get on the top 4.
Yeah.
Or to move up to number 4. So I think he needs like what 60 something around there.
Maybe 40. I think he had like 50 yards yesterday.
I don't
know.
Yeah. I don't know. He's somewhere up there. Hopefully he gets to this game.
Yeah, he probably will. So we picked the Chiefs. Next we got Cowboys at the Jaguars. I'm going like. I know you might be upset because you're trying to catch the lead, but I'm going Jaguars too because I hate the Cowboys.
Lions, Jets, who you got on this one?
I am taking the Lions. The Lions officially get to even. They get to 500, Nick.
gonna go Jets.
Okay.
I think Sauce Gardner gets a pick or two.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions come back down to earth and have one of their quote unquote Lions games where they don't score any points. Would not
Playing
be
a good
surprised.
defense, though.
Yeah, but I think the Lions got a lot going on right now. They got a lot of hype, some momentum. I think they really want to break that threshold of getting to 500, and I feel like this is a big game for them to do that.
All right.
Next, we got Cardinals at the Broncos. By the way, it looks like they came out and said that as it appeared almost immediately, the fear that the Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray suffered a serious knee injury. Source said an MRI and other tests are coming. So, it sounds like he might be out for the season. But I think Russell Wilson's probably going to be out for this game too, based off how he looked on that game.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm taking Colt McCoy over Brett Rippon. So, give me the Cardinals.
I think I'm gonna have to join you on that one as well. If I can even spell Cardinals right. There you go.
Broncos definitely have the better defense, but I don't know. This is a toss-up again if both the quarterbacks are out.
That's what I'm saying. It's a backup game, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Next we got the Patriots at the Raiders. Give me the Raiders. I don't know why I keep picking them, but I keep doing it.
You're going Raiders on this one?
Yeah.
This is actually a former coordinator versus the head coach. I'm gonna go with the head coach. The brains of the operation.
So who?
Patriots.
Oh, you're going to pick. Oh, yeah. I thought you said corner, but you said coordinator. I'm sorry.
Yeah, coordinator.
Patriots. I took the Raiders. Okay. Next we got Titans at the Chargers. I'm taking the Titans because I think Derrick Henry has a day against this defense.
I was gonna say the Titans.
Something that the Dolphins should have done, but we've already talked about that.
Stop broken up own ones, please.
Yeah, sorry. I'll let it go. It's a new week, Nick. A new week.
Battle of the Bees here.
I'm Bengals all day, dude. The Bengals are just killing it right now.
Can't take out the king of the jungle.
Yeah, Burrow is that fucking dude. Next, we got the Giants at the Commanders, who previously tied 2 weeks ago.
This honestly could be a good game.
I think it will be, but
like a close one.
If I remember that game correctly, I think the Giants should have won this game, so I'm going to take the Giants.
Yeah. I think the Giants are a better team right now.
Yeah. Next, we got the Rams at the Packers, man. Another shitty Monday night game.
I'm going Packers.
Hey. Give me Baker Mayfield and the motherfucking Rams, son.
Alright.
I'm picking. I got a lead now, Nick. I can get a little weird with it and pick some upsets. Just real quick. So that's week 15. This upcoming week. The week after that, y'all don't forget, we have predominantly all the games on Saturday, Christmas Eve. I actually took off work for this, so there's that. And then Sunday for Christmas Day, we got 3 games.
Oh, I was just gonna say too. This is the first week where there's no buys now.
Yeah,
the buys are over.
All the buys are over. So yeah, there's that. That's gonna wrap up week 15 predictions, and I think there's that. I'll just go through real quick on a couple stat leaders, like we do every couple weeks. Passing yards, kind of a one-man show up here. Mahomes at 4,160, Herbert 3,706, Burrow 3,685.
He'll get it for sure. Ain't no way.
What, MVP?
I mean, I think MVP for sure, unless Hurts does some crazy shit in the last couple weeks. But for passing yards, like, there's no way anyone will catch him.
I don't know, man. I'm just stuck on
the rate that they throw the ball. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's what's ultimately going to win Mahomes probably the MVP. But I think with the game Mahomes just had, I feel like it puts Hurts even closer to him. I know he's still bald,
I wasn't really even mentioning MVP. I was more so just talking
about the passing yards? Okay, yeah. No, he's definitely going to get
But MVP
that.
is definitely closer than it appears to some.
Yeah, I think. So, yeah, then we got rushing. We got fucking Josh Jacobs just absolutely having a year, Nick, at 1,402.
Contract
Henry,
year, boys going off.
Do you think they pick up his 5th year, or they didn't pick up his 5th year option, but do you think they re-sign him?
I'll tell you what, they regret it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think he hits the open market.
Could you imagine rushing for, I don't know, 1,700 yards this season and then him hitting the open market? The dude's gonna get paid.
I don't know. Depends on how they value them. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Oh yeah. By the way, real quick, we're talking about MVP. BetMGM has Jalen Hurts as now the favorite.
Do they? Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much. I just think the 11 picks, man, versus 3 is just crazy to me.
Then you got to factor in the rushing too that he probably has over him.
I mean, he's got Jalen. I think the total touchdowns, I think Jalen only has 3 or 4 less than Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying. It's closer than it appears.
It's definitely close. But yeah, I mean, we got Derrick Henry at pretty much 1,200, Nick Chubb 1,153, Barkley at 1,083, Miles Sanders already at 1,000 yards with 1,068. That's pretty good.
I think he just got there.
Yeah, he did. I saw. Did you see that stat where Miles Sanders was the first running back for the Eagles to get 1,000 yards since 2014, and then A.J. Brown was the first one to get 1,000 yards receiving since 2014 for the Eagles. So they're having a year as a whole team. Next we got receiving leaders, which is something I've loved to keep track of this year. Jefferson at 1,500 even. Tyreek at 1,460. Adams at 1,247. Diggs at 1,239. And Kelsey, a tight end, 5th in the league at 1,039. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, just real quick, like, Jefferson and Tyreek both have a chance at 2,000. I don't know. They would have to average, I think Jefferson has to average, 125 a game? And then Hill's probably a little bit more, so maybe like 130. Next, we got tackle leaders. We got Foyesay to Lua Khan, 142. Jordan Brooks, 141. Rashaan Evans, 134. Zaire Franklin, 131. And Nick Bolton, 131. That's a lot of tackles already, Jesus. Sack leaders, here we go. Nick Bosa at 14.5. Judon at 13, which I almost want to say Judon got 1, so he might be at 14. I don't know if it's updated or not, but Garrett at 12, Parsons at 12, Max Crosby at 11.5. Picks seems like it's been the same for a couple weeks. C.J. Gardner-Johnson at 6, Tariq Woolen at 6, Harrison Smith at 5, Jordan Poyer at 4, and Von Bell at 4. Yeah. That's some stats. So it looks like the Cardinals game is 13-7 now, Cardinals. So it looks like they scored a touchdown. All right, Nick, you got anything else?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I mean, we pretty much said all we needed to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks to anyone that listens and anyone that subscribes, anyone that finds our content or anything like that. Much appreciated. As always, you can wrap it up.
All right, yeah. Like Nick said, I mean, we appreciate y'all. Let us know what we're doing wrong, right, whatever. Thanks again. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's have a good week of football. Peace.